unless you go on and make a Devdi, it's a story told over and over and over again. It's been told, I believe, 11 times or 12 times so far. But then that's the power of the story when it was written, that every generation of director has wanted to give it an interpretation. And as a scriptwriter, I would be damn lucky if I could create that one story in my one lifetime that directors over time want to interpret again and again and again. But if I start trying as a scriptwriter to achieve that greatness, I won't be in the business for too long. That greatness comes on its own. It doesn't happen by any design or any kind of pre-planning. So I still have to survive as a writer, so I have to keep on doing jobs that I get. And somewhere down the line, I might strike that gold, I may not. But by and large, because Devdas is a story that is so compelling and so emotionally powerful, and the character Devdas in every society exists. Why can Shakespeare be turned on its head and made by Vishal or, over and over again in different interpretations through cinema and through theatre? Because the characters are still living in your life. Mahabharata, the characters are still living in your life. If you look around you, every single character of Mahabharata you'll find in your life today. Shakespeare's given characters those particular things about them: jealousies, pain, anguish, torment, selfishness, ugliness, violence, which exists in our society today. And you can have a character, you can say so and so is like that character in such and such play. That's the greatness of Shakespeare, that's the greatness of the Mahabharata, that's the greatness of a Devdas, that the characters can be related with, which is why directors can afford to give interpretations in every generation in different languages. So those are different things, and those are there for you as a director to explore. Pick up a story written 200 years ago, which relates with things today, and make it in the modern world, with the malls there, with the music there, with the rock culture there, everything. Different for film and different for serial. Technically, I can give you the differences. The serial is such that, what's going to go on and on, like I was telling you, is your characters. So your introduction to your characters becomes really important in the serial. And the drama comes through the introduction of your characters. What's your name?
Simran.
Huh?
Simran.
Simran, okay. Simran's this girl, okay, who's in Bombay and aspiring to be a filmmaker. She's coming from a particular background. She's working in she's studying in a particular digital academy and aspires to be so and so. Now, I don't need to be so clinical in my narration of Simran. I have to show Simran in these 3-4 different aspects of her life. Where she lives, where she comes from, and in all those aspects, where she studies and what does she aspire to be. In all these 4 aspects of your life, there will be other characters. And basically, Simran is the person whose story I'm going to be telling in the serial. Serials normally have a single protagonist. They do have ensemble casts. But even, there are 2 things to a serial. Either serial is mostly based on one single protagonist, or if there's an ensemble cast, and you'll notice when you're watching serials, which are successful, I'm not talking of unsuccessful work, that at a time they carry the story of one of the characters. And when they come to a sort of a plateau with that story, they move to another character and they take that character forward. And that really happens in serials. So now with Simran, when I'm moving in a story, I'm like moving with every aspect. So when I visited her house, I'm still introducing Simran to my audience. When I went to your house, there were certain members of your family there. So those are some of the characters I've introduced. And when I move into your academy, there are a few of your friends who are very important to you, whom you connect with, whom you have chemistry with, whom you feel that there is reason to be with. And now they are another set of characters. And then when I move out into your aspirations, which could be that maybe there are some mentors you talk to, maybe there are some, learned people in the trade that you visit. Maybe you've already, since you're aspiring, you've already started moving into the industry, meeting, maybe, pitching for ideas or getting into giving interviews and all for jobs. So now there's an industry that I'm introducing, and this is not even the first 10 minutes of my episode. So I have brought into this episode, through Simran's eyes, so much of a world that Simran belongs to. And by now, I would definitely have something that's gone right or wrong, which makes the rest of the episode. And I'm moving with Simran. And I've got all these characters. Now, each and every character, now, it's very difficult right now for us to go and define. Even if you and me were to sit down and start defining the first character you met in this episode, in 2 lines, it's a huge story. So you have about, at least in the first episode, you have about 10 or 12 huge stories, which you just put in the back burner, because till you're not going to exhaust Simran's story, you're not going to go into any one of those, but they are there. For you to power your story with, for you to drive your story with, for you to drive your serial forward with. They are just packed in there and kept, and you just keep them aside. And you just keep bringing those characters in and out as and when Simran requires them. But the audience of television serials is so powerfully attached to characters that they will see a character in one scene in episode 1, and if they don't see it for 40 episodes, and you bring that character back after 40 episodes, they will remember who that character was. And popular serials, people don't miss. Audiences, if they've missed episodes, they watch them on DVDs and things like that. Things that work, people want to really watch. Whether it's a Desperate Housewives or it's Sex in the City, the kind of serials I watch, I have to get DVDs and watch them if I've missed them. And that's how I know my audience, because I know myself.